we're going to study a translation, not interpretation. That's what I always start off with in Hebrew. There aren't any Hebrew Bibles that I know about, except maybe the Sacred Name Bible, which it really isn't a transliterated Hebrew, even though it does bring out a lot of this. There aren't any good Hebrew translations of the Hebrew Bible. They're interpretations, not translations. That's the problem. That's the problem we have with a lot of theories. We have a lot of interpretation and not translation. All right? Now, I'm going to introduce you into Hebrew just a little bit. All right? There's different words you're going to run into as we see. You'll see them as we go. And my translation and commentary and interlinear is cross-reference not to Strong's, but it's the page numbers you see in here are going to be the page numbers in the Hebrew lexicons, the real Hebrew lexicons. Now, the best, well, I don't know whether there is a best Hebrew lexicon, but this is one of the best Hebrew lexicons that I can think of. This is a 2-volume set. This is Kohler and Baumgartner. Kohler and Baumgartner. It's let's see how many pages. Over 2,000 pages. About 2,100 pages. It is a more modern Hebrew lexicon. It's Hebrew and Aramaic and basically Chaldee lexicon. One of my students, Troy and Jeanette in Alabama, sent this to me. I ended up with it on my doorstep. I did not have this because they're about $200 or $300 for this set, for these two books. This is one of the best. If you really want to get serious with this, this is something that you want to have. It cross-references all the other lexicons to a certain extent. All right? And this is a Hebrew-Aramaic lexicon of the Aramaic and Hebrew language. I'm going to put that up on the board there by Kohler and Baumgartner. That's one of them that's cross-referenced to there. This is a fantastic Hebrew lexicon. He was far beyond his time when he did this Gesenius. And they almost didn't get this printed. I believe he died. I think this is the one that died before he was done. His works were compiled. He did a tremendous amount of research. It's Gesenius, Hebrew and Chaldee lexicon. Get this on video because it will go. I hope to put some of these classes up on video. Here it is. It's the one thing about these Hebrew lexicons are actually you start at the left side of the book and go to the right. Many of them you start at the right side of the book and go left like Hebrew would. These at least are not like that. Here is one of the basic lexicons of all time. I've worn it out so many times I need to cover it with leather. It's falling apart. I have used this since probably 69 or 70. It is Brown, Driver, and Briggs. It is very good. Gesenius goes in deeper in many ways than any of the other lexicons. Now, I want to tell you this also. These are Hebrew lexicons. These are not analytical Hebrew lexicons. These are Hebrew lexicons, like Thayer and Bauer, Arndt, and Gingrich, like they are in Greek. Okay? They do not break down every word that you see in the Hebrew Bible. These are basic lexicons. Brown, Driver, and Briggs, you will have cross-reference to this all over in there. All right? And you'll probably even learn the page numbers where things are, and you can go look them up and look at the different ways things are translated. There's another one, if I can find it. Here it is. This is Benjamin Davidson's. Now, Cindy, what does it say right at the top of that? Analytical Hebrew Chaldee Lexicon. All right, Analytical Hebrew Chaldee Lexicon. This breaks down every word and tells you what part of speech it is. Everywhere in the Hebrew Bible. This is an Analytical Hebrew Chaldee Lexicon. This is the one, if you had to have one of them, this is the one you would get. Because you can figure out what part of speech it is. It breaks it down. It breaks all the verbs down. It breaks all the nouns down. Everything is here in this one. It looks like it's smaller. But there are some things in here that sometimes even the other one, especially since it's analytical. And this is by Benjamin Davidson. All right? Zondervan printed this. You can still buy it today. I think I have another copy that I got someplace, probably Borders or some book. What's the other one down here?
Barnes and Noble.
Barnes and Noble. I think I might even got it Barnes and Noble. It's printed a little different. I think it's black and red or something like that. This is the old Zondervan's printing right here. The old Zondervan's printing. We will be cross-referenced to these things. We'll even look up some things. Now, all of you have been in my Greek class. All right, we're going to study Greek as we study Hebrew. We study Hebrew as we study Greek, don't we? Because they're very important for both languages. Those are the languages of the Bible. Okay? This is a biblical Hebraica. All right? It's a German Hebrew text. It starts at the right side and goes to the left. Just exactly. All right? Now, as you see this Hebrew text, this is a real Hebrew text. This is no baloney. There is nothing but Hebrew in there. Okay? It starts out exactly like a Hebrew Bible. But at the very bottom of the page, you will see on this one there is an apparatus that tells you the footnotes of the text, which you don't have in so many of them. You will not find that in a interlinear. This is for real, honest Hebrew students. Okay? I have about 3 or 4 different kinds of these. But this is one of them. I couldn't bring all of them. Dakota was telling me I didn't need all these books tonight because poor Dakota had to carry them. All right? Now, here is a Jewish publication society. We will refer to this. And they're ridiculous translations of their own language. The ridiculous translations of their own language. Jewish Publication Society starts on the right-hand side and goes left, as you see. But it does have an English translation beside of it that is next door to worthless. You ever lived there next door to worthless before? Well, that's what it is. Okay. You lived in Oildale? Anyway, there that is. All right. Bereshit, beginning, book of Genesis. All right. Now, we got a little bit of that. Now, both of you have seen this, but the rest of the class hasn't on video, so we're going to show you this. This is a worn-out analytical Greek lexicon. It's printed by Zondervan a long, long time ago. And it is an analytical Greek lexicon. It's not like Thayer, Bauer, Art, and Gingrich or anything. This one here breaks down every word in the Greek New Testament. Now, you also have to have one of these in the Old Testament. You have to have a Septuagint analytical Greek lexicon. Now, the Septuagint is extremely important as you're looking and studying, if you're really going to study in the languages. I'll show this one up here also. You can only buy this one used online. It is the best there ever was. They were out of print since the 1970s, maybe early 80s. This one here, I went down and I had it copied. People wanted all of my notes, which are on every page in it. There's notes and cross-references and corrections all over the book that I went through here. I've been doing this book for 40 years. So I wrote it down, every correction. Everything they left out, I put down. And at that time, it was like $75 to print one of these. That's a lot of money. But some students wanted this, my corrected, annotated copy of the Greek analytical lexicon. You know what, I forgot, I have your CDs set out at home.
Okay.
Okay?
Fine.
I did finally get them run off. I had to go get some. This is the last. I did 41 classes in Hebrew from Genesis. We have those available. They're $2 a piece per CD. If you want those, they are even on DVD if you want to watch it. Some people like it on a DVD. The DVDs are more money. They are available. You can go on the websites. When I'm doing this, I know you know about the websites already. Here is welcome to discovertheword.com. All right, this is the oldest website we have. And there are many, many classes on there, and books, history books, all kinds of things on there. That one there is our oldest website. Sometimes we get 100,000 visitors a month on that website. Here is Sermon Audio. Discover the Word online ministry from sermonaudio.com/DTW. All right. A lot of these classes, almost all of the Hebrew classes are there, so you can go get them. We have another website now that has video on it. Some video. It's a small website. Mark and Janine in New York have put this one up, and you can go and watch the classes. It's 15 minutes at a time there. It's on YouTube. Okay? And it's called Discover the Word Comms Channel. It's called that. Discover the Word Comms. It's not .com. Our copyrighted website is discovertheword.com. But there is another Discover the Word radio broadcast that borrowed our copyrighted name. And so on this one here, they wouldn't let us put it up because they wouldn't let him put it up there because there's already a discovertheword.com, so he had to put discovertheword.com. Okay. But if you go onto there, I'm going to try to link this to the other old website. But you can go on there and watch some of the classes, especially those out there in the video, well, not the video, but the web world. And then this is the Septuagint. This actually here, one of my students in Alabama, Troy and Jeanette, sent this book to me. It is an interlinear Septuagint, and it goes all the way to the Old Testament, and then it comes into the New Testament. So this is a good one to get if you want it, and you can study more easily. I have a Septuagint that doesn't have any English in it at all. I've studied that one more than I have this one. But this one here it's really good when I want to show you something, and we will be looking at this as we study. All right. This is the Apostolic Bible right here. That is a Greek Old Testament and a Greek New Testament. The Greek New Testament is an inferior manuscript. Textus Receptus, so that's not so good, but at least you have it all under one cover. You can always go correct it. All right, let's get into Hebrew a little bit. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Hebrew language and the Hebrew Bible. The Hebrew language is made up basically of 3-letter words. We're going to look at the Hebrew alphabet in a minute, but 3-letter roots. My Hebrew in my interlinear, I hope, is better than most of the Hebrew text. The Hebrew text you get is very poor Hebrew print. There are many letters that look alike. And I try to make my letters that I wrote in there look different from each other. So a resh won't look like a dalet. See these two words? In Hebrew text, you can hardly tell that one from that one. Okay? And the bay. Now this word is dabar. Dabar. Say dabar. Dabar. It goes from right to left. It's like D-A-B-E-R, or actually it's D-A-B-E-R. All right? Now we're going to, at the front of your little deal there, where is the alphabet? Does it have the alphabet in there? The Hebrew alphabet. We're going to go through the Hebrew alphabet. I'm going to tell you just a little bit about it. We might cover this a few times in the beginning of the classes. Do you find it? All right, let's look at it. A little bit about the Hebrew alphabet. Basically, the Hebrew language is made up mostly of 3-letter roots. All right? there's exceptions to the rule. That's it. That's the sign of the direct object. You'll see that SODO in the front of it, all over the place. And it'll be page 84 in Brown, Driver, and Briggs. All right? Brown, Driver, and Briggs is this Hebrew lexicon right here, Brown, Driver, and Briggs. All right? Almost all Strongs will cross-reference you back to Brown, Driver, and Briggs almost every time. Some will cross-reference you over the Kohler and Baumgartner. Mine goes to it a lot, okay? A lot to Kohler and Baumgartner, mainly because of Troy and Jeanette sent that to me, so I have access to it. Kohler and Baumgartner goes a lot into the history. It's a lot bigger lexicon. It's over 2,000 pages than all the others, okay? It's the what we call the master. It's like the Liddell and Scott of Hebrew. Liddell and Scott is a giant. How many of you have seen the Liddell and Scott? I brought it here. It's about like this, about that wide, like this, by this, and little bitty fine print in it, and like 3,000 pages. Okay? The Kohler and Baumgartner is like that in the Hebrew. All right. Now, Hebrew is made up basically of 3-letter words. There's a difference between the biblical Hebrew and the modern Yiddish Hebrew. The pronunciations are definitely different. The modern Yiddish picks up a lot of German in it. Many of the Greek grammars slang a lot of German into the Greek. So we have it in Yiddish, and we have it also in the Greek grammars. All right, as you open up, Randall, there's a text right behind. Did you get one? Did you get the new text?
Even though there's a difference between the modern Hebrew and the biblical Hebrew, the words mean the same thing, don't they?
The words somewhat mean the same thing. The modern Hebrew...
Is it mainly pronunciation?
The pronunciation, yes. But the modern... All of the modern, as we said a little bit earlier, all of the modern Hebrew translations are very poor. They're interpretations, not translations. We're going to do translations, not interpretations. I can pronounce the Hebrew either way. It doesn't make, I know modern Hebrew and I know biblical Hebrew. But the modern grammar is for the birds. They don't know their grammar. If they did, they would translate their language, their Bible differently. That's all I got to say. And we will see that. We're going to go all the way back into Genesis 1:1 and 1 and 2 tonight, and we're going to just show you just a little bit, and I think both of you, but we've never really got into it in Greek, or in Hebrew, that is. Cindy, you have a volume 1 of this, don't you, at home?
Over here, actually.
Oh, you got it with you. We're going to use that in just a few minutes. I have one other volume 1 in there. If you want one, they're $15. I'll have the church print up some more of them, and that you can have a volume 1 with your volume 2 also. There are 5 volumes. Okay, but we've printed 2 of them so far. All right? Of the 5, and if the Lord lets me live long enough and teach this, I will. All right. Alif. Alif. All right? It basically is silent. There's no pronunciation for the Alif. You put a vowel sign down below it or whatever. By the way, the Old Testament Hebrew has 22 consonants. Now, modern Hebrew will say, how many is it in modern Hebrew? Brother Randall, they say...
What is it, 32 or something?
32 or something like that.
But what's the difference between knowing that this letter can be spelled 3 ways, saying the 22, knowing that this one is 3 ways, this one's 2 ways, this one's...
It's the same letter.
Same letter.
Yeah.
But, or if you just spell out all 32 and knowing that this one, these 3 are the same, these 2 are the same.
But the only thing about it, when you study biblical Hebrew, you won't go that direction. That's modern Hebrew. When you take
But it's the same
like
thing.
Kyle Yates or whatever, okay. But when you're studying the biblical Hebrew, it's not going to go that direction.
Okay.
Okay. If you study biblical Hebrew, it's going to tell you exactly what I'm telling you tonight. There's 32, what they call, but what they do is they break it down in each letter. Now, you go back to the biblical Hebrew, and in the biblical Hebrew will tell you there's 2 or 3 different ways to write this one and sound this one out. We have a doggy slangy, and a doggy sporty. All right, we're going to get into that in just a little bit. We're going to spend a little bit of time today on this, but I don't want to drag you through grammar every week because it'll bore you to death. We want to study the Bible. Okay, that's what we want to do. We want to study the Bible. I want to give you a little bit of introduction to it today. Aleph, it's silent. The sign of it is an ox. An ox, like the ox's head. That's the ancient Hebrew for it. In there, I believe, maybe, is there a... I wrote out one time...
Stuff with vowels.
Okay, there's vowels in there. No, I don't think I have it. It doesn't have this in there, does it? Okay, well, put that one in there with yours. That's the only one I have today. But you'll have that one. I'll try to get some more of those printed out. The Aleph is the ox. In ancient Hebrew text, I'll try to copy one of them out where you can see those also. You will see that the ancient Hebrew, and I have read the ancient Hebrew, and you can see that it does look like an ox's head. But they changed it over the years. All right? There weren't any Hebrew vowels. The Old Testament Hebrew has 22 consonants. However, the written text did not contain vowels. These vowel points were invented and inserted during the 7th century. That's 800s. 880. We're not talking about BC now. We're talking about 80. All right? The consonants are written always from right to left. Absolute reverse from English and Greek and German and whatever. Any Western languages. But the idea is that when you go toward Jerusalem, everything on this side of Jerusalem is written from left to right. Everything on that side of Jerusalem is written from right to left. Okay? Aleph is an ox. You can write this down now, right? Where you're in your little books there, right? When you go to the Aleph, when you go to the, have you found your Hebrew alphabet? Just write this down over to the side of it. The base, there's two base. Now in the modern Hebrew, you're going to have two base up there, but there's really only one. There's a hard one and a soft one. All right? Bet. That's it right here. The soft one is like a B. The hard one has got that in it. That means strong, hard. All right? The doggy slaney in the bosom of a letter gives it a strong sound. Now left. This the bar, you don't really say that the bar. It's not the bar. It's the bar. Okay? If you don't have a doggy slaney in the middle of it, it has got a DH sound instead of a strong D sound. Okay? The bait is a V sound or a V sound if it doesn't have the doggy slaney in the middle of it. That's it. That's the difference between biblical Hebrew and the other. The biblical or the modern Hebrew will give you two different letters. The biblical Hebrew just says there's one. Okay? And this is what makes it hard and this is what makes it soft. Then we go down, we got Aleph and Beth, and now we have Gimel. The Beth, by the way, is a house. House. Faith is house. We got a word Beth. 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 Now the modern Hebrew, when they say house, they'll say Bet. Bet. All right, Bet. Always Bet. I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. Always at Bet. It's actually Beth. Beth. All right. Same thing. House. House. Now Gimel. Gimel is the idea of a camel. A camel. All right. Gimel. There is a hard gimel and a soft gimel. All right. So it is a get. Strong. Say get. Get. And gah. Gah. Get and gah. Difference. That really doesn't mean a whole lot, but there you go. One is a GH sound and the other is a sharp G sound. All right. Now we have the left. By the way, that's a camel, all right. Now we have the left. The left, the idea of it is a door. A door. It's a right door out by dollar. A door can be, a Daleth can be Daleth or Daleth. Say Daleth, Daleth, or Daleth. Can you say Dakel? You know how you really say, you know we have Taco Bells? It should be Taco Bell. Taco Bell. Yeah. But it's Taco Bell. But see, we don't speak Spanish like the Spanish do. All right? Espanol. All right. Now here we have da and we have da. The sharp and the soft. And that is the door. Now hey is window. Hey is a window. That's like an H, okay? It's a window. It's like a window. Hey. It's also the word, it's the fifth letter in the Hebrew alphabet, which also kind of means breath. When you say, hey, what happens? You breathe out. It's a number of grace. That's the number, the letter, that is, that they put in Sarah and Abraham's name. That's the letter that was added. All right? And then wow. Now, the modern Hebrew will call it what, Brother Randall?
Vav.
Vav. It's wow. And this is the difference between how you say the name of God. Jehovah, all right, or Yah. All right? We don't know how to say the name. The vowels weren't there, so we don't know how to do it. But the oldest pronunciation of this letter is with a W, not a V. All right? All right? It's wow, wow like in way. With Yahweh, Yahweh. Just like it's just all a whole breath when we say the name of God. By the way, Jehovah is up on page 219 in Brown Driver and Briggs if you want to put that one down and just look at that word a lot. Zion, Zion. Oh, by the way, the wow was the reaping hook. The reaping hook. A side, a reaping hook. All right. And then Zion. Zion, the sign of it is a weapon. A weapon, like a war club. Okay? Zion is like Z. Z. Zion. Z like in zeal. Now we have the word Chet. Chet. So far, Aleph, Beth, Gimel, Dalet, He, Wah, Zayin, Chet. We also have a Hey up there, don't we? But this is different. This letter is almost like the other one. See? See the different two words? Now, in my little analytical, you will see a hey looks like that, and a chet looks like that. Looks like a stump. It's not connected with a hey. It is connected with this one. This one has a little bit of ch sound. Modern Hebrew basically just forgets that. Okay? And this one here is an H, and this is like a CH, but a very soft CH. Both of them are almost the same letters. Okay?
Is that kind of the clear your throat sound?
Yeah,
Okay.
Noah. Noah. Noah.
Okay.
Noah. It's not Noah, but it's Noah. Noah. Clear your throat sound. All right? Like CH. CH, H. CHETH. Then we have the word Teth. Teth. This is the sign of the snake. The snake. Nahash. Oh, the other one. By the way, Chet was a fence. A fence. Fence. Chet is a fence. I forgot to tell you that. If I miss one, tell me, and I'll tell you what it is, because this is very important. Okay? This is how you remember what they are. This is how the ancient Hebrews taught their children. This goes way back beyond Yiddish. This goes way back BC, before Christ. Okay, this is a long time ago Hebrew. The modern Hebrew Bible we have is basically about 800, 900 AD. Not BC, AD. Their pronunciations are AD, not BC. Some of the Hebrew grammars are BC. Some of this will go way back before Christ. Okay? Now, Teth. Teth looks like a snake, kind of halfway rolled up. You will see it in my writings. It'll look like this, with his little tail like that. See that? That's a snake. Teth. And a lot of letters in Hebrew look alike. They really will trick you in the Hebrew text. Yod. Yod is hand. It's like this, hand. Like this. See this? This is like a hand. Yod. Yod. Yod like hand. That's the idea, hand. And it's like a Y. And then we have the word kaf. Kaf is a CH sound. CH, kaf. There is a, here we have, in modern Hebrew, we have two letters for this, but there's actually only one. Kaf, there is a final, and there is a beginning word. Just like sigma, we have sigma like this, and we have sigma like that. In English, you understand this. In Old English, that was a S, and the final was that. All of the English books written before 1800 were like this. They had an S and a final S. Now, Hebrew has an S and a final. How many letters in the English alphabet do we have? Did they add one extra one? Okay. Nonsense. All right. So we have a final. In Kaf, we have a letter and we have a final. Is it down there yours? Okay, and that one you've got a final. Also, you both got your final. The final looks like this. So does the pay. Looks just like it. You can't hardly tell them apart. The Kaf is like this, and the pay is like this. But the pay is mouth. Okay? What is the Kaf? What was the Kaf? Huh? That's an open hand. That's an open hand. Kaf is an open hand, like this. Open. Not closed, but open. Hand is Yod, open hand, with a thumb opposing. Okay? Now we have a Kaf, and we have a letter and a final letter, and then we have a lamet. Lamet. Lamet is this one, see? That's one of the easiest Hebrew letters to see, to understand. That's the easy one. Lamet. Everybody gets that one the first time around. It's like none other. There are no other letters that look like a lamet. And by the way, what do you think that one is? That's a whip. A whip. A whip. Okay? It's like L. Then we have mem. Mem. Like in met. And we have two M's. We have two mems. We have a final. Okay? We have a mem that goes like this in the front of a word, looks like a G kind of. And then the final one looks like this. I always leave a hole there, a gap. And the Hebrew Bibles, many times you can't tell that apart from others. Or do you mind me taking time tonight to tell you this? This is kind of important to begin with, okay? It bores me to death. I taught Hebrew grammar 40 years ago, and I just didn't like it. I like teaching Hebrew reading and research because that you learn the Bible with. If the Bible wasn't written in Greek and Hebrew, I would never study them. Period. Forget it. All right. Mem. That's our M. Waters. Waters. Meh is waters. Also, mem, when you see that in front of a word, it means from it. From, or from the same element. From. Mah. From. All right? Now, neen. Nun or neen. All right? It's a fish. The neen is like a fish. All right? Neen. Now, when I write neen, it's not going to look like a Zion. It's not going to look like a Yod or anything else, all right? It's going to look like this. Okay? That's the final neen, and then in the front of the word is like this. I will make it look like that. All right? The gamel is almost like this. You can't already tell a gamel from a neen. The gamel, I put a foot on it, right over here, a heel on it. Okay? You will see my gamels that have a heel on them, so you can tell them easily what it is. All right? I try to make it easier to read. All right. That's a fish. And then somic. Somic is like an S. All right? Somic, you will see me write it look a little bit like this. Okay? And I will put a little slanted roof on it. So you know what's a somic. It's not going to be a man. Do you see the difference in these things? You can't already tell them apart in some Hebrew text. You don't know what you're reading. Unless you know the language well enough to where you can figure it out. All right? Hebrew printing is very poor. Even in many Hebrew Bibles, the Hebrew interlinears are horrible. Except for Green's interlinear. One interlinear that I have by Green, it was really good printing. One edition of it, but it was only Genesis and Exodus. But I've worn that thing around carrying out because I don't have to figure out whatever word it is. You can read it. It's good text. And then somic is like a prop. All right? Prop. It's a prop. A prop. Like a prop. Okay? Like a prop. Somic. It props up something. It's like a rock that you prop up something. Remember when Moses couldn't hold up there? They put a rock under his hand finally. Okay? And then iron. Iron looks like some other letters too. Iron. It's kind of silent also, iron. It's like this. You'll see it. I like to put a little bit of crown on top of it like that. Iron and sodhe look a lot alike. Sodhe looks like this. Or like this. A lot of the Hebrew letters look alike. All right. The somic is a prop. The ayin is an I. I for iron. Remember, I for iron.
Okay, what was the name again?
What was what?
The name?
The neen is a fish.
A fish?
Yeah, fish. A fish hung up like this by its little head, a fish. That's what in the ancient Hebrew writing. I will try to bring and make a copy of that so you can see some of the old Hebrew. All right, it's pretty neat. You can tell more why they call it a fish and why they call it a door and a ox's head and all that kind of stuff because you can see it a little better. Then we have the word pay. Pay. Pay is either a strong P or a it's either a pay or a PH. All right? P or PH sound, and of course, how do you tell that? What's the difference in it? The doggy slang. All right. Let me erase some of this stuff and start over here again. We're getting too much stuff on the board. All right. Pay. Pay is like mouth. Over here. Pay. That's like a mouth with the tongue going, eh. All right? It's looking sideways, eh. With the tongue sticking out. All right? Like Dakota. Eh. Now, if it's a strong P sound, it's going to have the doggish laney in it. If it's not, it's a PH sound. It's either a P sound or a PH sound. Okay? And of course, you have a pay and a final that looks like that. Okay? Usually on the end of the word it's like a sound. Pay. Then we have the word sodhe. Sodhe. In modern Hebrew, they will forget the T sound in it. Sod. You start out with sodhe. 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 It's like a TS. The modern Hebrew will drop the T and just say saw. Just an S. But it actually starts with a T. It's like haaretz. It's not haaretz, it's haaretz. Haaretz. That's the earth. The earth. Ha, that's a definite article. Definite article. Page 206 in Brown, Driver, and Briggs. Okay? The with. That's an and. It's a definite article in Greek, or in Hebrew that is. And here is a conjunction. And. Many words start out with and. Like Wayomer. They will say Vayomer. The Hebrew, biblical Hebrew, be Wayomer. All right? That's on page 253 from Brown Driver Brick, if you want to look that one up. All right. So we have sodhe. Sodhe is a fish hook. Sodhe is a fish hook. Sodhe is this or this. All right. We have a sodhe and a final sodhe. We have two sodhes. Say sodhe. Can you put the T in it? Sodhe. Sodhe. Say ha'aritz. It's not ha'aris. It's ha'aritz. Okay? Like TS in hits. That's a fish hook. Now we have the word kof. 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 That's the way you say it. Kof. 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 It looks like this. Looks like a P that's not connected. Okay? That's kof. By the way, while we're here, the Hebrew grammars, back from Davidson, which was a tremendous genius, and that's the only analytical Hebrew grammar we have as far as I know is Davidson's Hebrew grammar. It'll say, most things will say, call stem. Call. Davidson will say, call stem. Cow stem. Not call, but cow. Just thought I'd throw that one at you for a little bit. Have you ever heard that one before? All right. So when you see, it'll say cow stem, it means it is call stem in the modern and call stem in biblical Hebrew.
That means the word is a regular verb? Is that,
Is
that how
it's basically a regular verb, call stem. All right. All right. Kol. That means the back of a head. The back of a head. See that? Body, head, back of the head. All right? And then resh. 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 Resh is this one. And you can mistake that one very easily for two other Hebrew letters. All right? Resh. Resh means head. We get the word rosh from resh. It means head. All right? And it's resh. Period. There aren't two of them, just one. And then we have sin and shin. Sin, shin. Same Hebrew letter, but one of them's got a point on this side. That's the shin. That's a SH sound. Shin and sin. All right? Sin, shin. And then we have the word tau. Tau can look like a hay or a chi, and you can't hardly tell them apart. But I go like this and make my towel look like that so you can tell it different from the other. It's got a foot on it also. A little foot. All right? And it's got a little crown on the top also. Towel. There's two ways to make towel also. What are they? TH, soft, and T, hard. And what's the difference? Doggy slang. All right. There we have it. All right. How many letters are basically in the Hebrew word? 3. All right. 3 letters in the Hebrew word that make up the Hebrew word. They are compounded. They are inflected tremendously. Hebrew is tremendously inflected, just like Greek. You even have suffixes. You have somebody talking, and you find out who he's talking to in Hebrew. A lot of times, the Hebrew word for feminine is going to be tau. When you see tau in the Hebrew word, it means that it's a woman talking. All right? Go a little bit further.
Okay, did we catch what the
What?
sin and sheen represent and the towel?
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, brother. Okay, the sin and shin is a tooth.
Tooth?
Tooth with long roots. Tooth was long roots. Tooth was a long root. And then the last one is tau, like a cross. I hope you haven't been bored to death with this. All right? We have to look at some things to begin with. We're going to study the Hebrew tenses as we go along. 6 letters in Hebrew permit 2 sounds. That's the one we talked, the soft and the hard ones. Written with a dot, the doggy slingy in the bosom, they have a hard pronunciation known as stops. When the dot is absent, the word is soft, and the letters without the doggy slinging are called what? You remember that, Randall? Fricatives. Fricatives, or whatever you need. Okay? They're called fricatives. Also, that's about as far as it's going to take you right now. We will study these other things. Now we have to get the abbreviation. What? Abbreviation. All right. Go to one where you have the abbreviations. You have a better copy of it than I do. Mine is very, very dim. NIPH will be Niphel. HIPH is Hithil. Hophel is HOPH. Hith is Hithquel. All right. Hithquel. And then we have, that's less common, by the way. And then we have Hish, from Hish, Pa, Fel. Hish, Hithpafel. Hoth is Hothpel. HTPA is Hithpalel. Hithpalel. And HTPP is Hithpapel. Hithpapel. And then Nith is Nithpael. Pel is Palel. Paul is P-A-L-L. P-I-L is Pillel. P-I-L-P is Pilpel. All right, we've got Pol, Polel, and Poloth is Polal, and P-O-L-P is Paul, Paul, and we have Puel, Pulal, and then we have the word Q-A-L-P, which is Paul passive. Aramaic. APH is Aphel. Hoth is Hophel. Hish is Hishtafel. HTAP is Hithapael. HTPA is Hithpaal. HTPL is Hithpael. HTPO is Hithpolel. HTPP is Hithpalpel. All right? And then Ish is Ishtafel. Ith is Ithpael. Itho is Ithpoel. Pol is Polel. And SHOP is Shafel. The tense abbreviations now. COH is cohortive in form and meaning. COHF is cohorting in form, not meaning. COHM is cohorting in meaning, but not necessarily unique to form. Imperfect. IMPF is imperfect tense. The IMPV is imperative. The INFA is infinitive absolute. IFNC is infinitive construct. Juice, J-U-S, is juicy in form and meaning. J-U-S-S is juicy in form only. Juicy in meaning. J-U-S-F, juicy in meaning, but not unique in form. Usually indicative and passive. All right, juicy. Perfect, P-F-T, or P-E-R-F-E-C-T is what I write it. P-P-T-C is past participle. P-T-C, or part, is participle. W-C-I is wow, consecutive, and perfect. Marilyn, Dakota, can you get me some water? W-C-P is wow, consecutive, perfect, and then we have P-L is P-L. Simple as that. P-L is P-L, so that's pretty simple. run out of, is there water? Danke. Vielen Dank. Grazie. My voice will hold out a little bit longer. Do you have any questions so far? It's all foreign, wasn't it? All right. Now let's go to, if you have your Genesis 1 and 1, do you have a Genesis book? Randall, do you have your Hebrew Bible with you or anything?
I got it on my iPad.
Your what?
On my iPad.
Okay. Right in that bottom cabinet over there, if you go in that bottom cabinet, there's one extra copy of the first part of the book of Genesis. You have yours with you, don't you?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to go to Genesis 1 and 1. Bereshit 1 and 1. Aha. Right in the bottom, brother. Down in the bottom cabinet. Right over there with the pink looking front of it. Is that? Yeah. What is this other one? What kind of cover does it have? Oh, blue. Volume 1 is pink looking. Okay? So you can look at that tonight. If you decide you want one of them, they're $15. All right, we're going to start out here. We're going to look at some of the words, and you're going to learn a little bit about what you already learned from the alphabet. Rosh. Resh means what? Resh. What's the idea of Resh? Resh. The R. What's the idea of it? We have it in the first word in the Hebrew Bible. Resh means what? Resh means what?
The head.
Huh?
The first, the head.
Head. Head. Rosh is head. Resh is a letter. It means head. So we have the first word, the first letter in the Hebrew Bible is Bereshit. 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 Say that. Bereshit. That's the first word in the Hebrew Bible, Genesis 1 and 1. Bereshit. All right? It comes from Rosh, which means head. All right? Now this is the old Hebrew plural. All right? Bereshit. It comes from Rosh. Do you see that Beth in the front of it? Beth means, by the way, if you look up on page 88, Beth, page 88, in Brown, Driver, and Briggs, will tell you, in the front of a word, it means in, or by, or for. All right? Right here, it means in. It's like a preposition. Okay? Page 88, Brown, Driver, and Briggs. Okay? Bereshit. In beginnings. Plural. In beginnings. All right? Now, we're going to look at it in the Greek. And we're going to look at it. Where is that other thing I've got around here? I lost it. There it is. Brother Randall.
Okay.
All right.
That's me.
All right. You're over there.
Here.
Hold on. I want you to look at this. I want you to read it in the English. In just
Oh,
a
I
minute.
can read it
Okay.
in English. I'm really good.
All right. You can read it in English. See, that's not real hard. All right. Brother Randall, can you read it in Greek?
I could probably blunder through it.
The Septuagint. Genesis 1 and 1. We're going to pick the Septuagint apart. Because they translated it incorrectly because they have different ideas.
I could try.
Oh, I see. You've been studying Greek. I could have Marilyn read that.
Here, Marilyn.
All right. We got the Septuagint and we got the Hebrew Bible. Now, the reason why we're going into Genesis 1 and 1 tonight, for one reason, I want to show you the difference between interpretation and translation. When they came along, by the time they translated the Septuagint from Hebrew into Greek, they had a problem in their heads already. What was the problem in their head? Do you remember, Randall?
Was it the Babylonian idea?
They had the Babylonian idea of creation. Okay? They had the Babylonian idea of creation. So they believed that God began to create in Genesis 1 and 1. But that's not what it says in Hebrew. Okay? And it it says there in Greek, what does it say, brother?
It says NRK.
NRK, that means in beginning singular. It's not singular, it is plural. The Hebrew word is even lost. In the Hebrew lexicons, it's lost. But it's an old, abandoned Hebrew plural, in beginnings. Now, how do we get word in beginnings from it? Ba-ra-shi. 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 Ba, it means in, doesn't it? Page 88. Ba-ra-shi. All right? Old Hebrew ancient plural. Page 113 in an analytical Hebrew lexicon. All right? In is Greek. They got that right. In. Page 137 in Davidson's analytical Greek lexicon. In arche. Arche means singular. Lockety singular feminine. It should not be that. It should be arches. It should be like this. If they would have translated it correctly, it should have been like that.
Arches?
Arches.
Okay.
Not arche. Okay? We do have a place in the New Testament it says in arche. Where is that? John 1 and 1. All right. Now that does mean singular. That's when Jehovah existed by himself, singular. Nothing else. All right. Barashi. In beginnings. Bara, created. Third person, masculine, singular, perfect tense. Perfect tense. Third person, masculine, singular, perfect tense. Page 135 in Brown Driver Greeks and page 113 in Analytical Lexicon. It means to cut, to carve, to create. But here it's perfect tense. Perfect tense means what? In any language, what does perfect tense mean? It's a done job. It's a done job. Now, if it's a done job, how in the world did they translate it like Cindy's about to read it?
When God began to create heaven and earth.
When God began to create. Now, is it, that would be infinitive. Absolutely. Is it infinitive absolute? Or is what? It's third person, masculine, singular, perfect tense. So how is the only way you can translate that? When God had created. Finished. Finished. It's done. It's not in the process of it. It's done. All right?
Did you give Benjamin Davison on that?
Benjamin Davison is page 113.
113.
Uh-huh. Brown Driver and Briggs is page 135. It means to cut, to polish, to finish. All the finished touching. It means to complete, to manufacture and complete the manufacturing job. And then it says Elohim. Elohim. All right, see that word Elohim there? Elohim. I keep losing my eraser. Got to write some more things. All right. Translation, not interpretation. Now, we find some interpretation from the Hebrew Bible, don't we? Because they believed in a process of creation, not in a flat fact. God spoke the Bible into existence, the Bible says, didn't He? And He spoke it, and when it came into existence, it didn't come into existence without form and void. It came into perfection. That's what the first two words in the Hebrew Bible say. Okay? Now we have the whole idea out there in the world where we have the young earth theory, where they have God created the heavens and the earth, and He did it just a little while ago. But here, right back yonder, something happened. They need to translate correctly Genesis 1 and 1 and 1 and 2. We're going to have Cindy read this again, and just when we get to Genesis 1 and 2. Elohim. Elohim is the name for the Trinity. I do not point Hebrew most of the time because it wasn't pointed. And if you learn the Hebrew words, you won't need to point it so much. All right, you can just read it. It's nice because the Hebrew pointing also tells you what part of speech it is, things later. They knew that during the Hebrew Bible. Elohim. Created Elohim. It tells you who did the creating. All right? The Creator. The Creator God. In beginnings, had created and finished Elohim. Then we have Et. It's actually Et. doesn't have a doggy slaney in there, so what does that mean? It isn't et. It's et. Et. Sign of direct object, page 84. What is equivalent in Greek? What is the Greek equivalent to et? Sign of direct object in the New Testament. Ace, page 119. All right, page 84 in Brown, Driver, and Briggs. Page 119 in the Analytical Greek Lexicon. See there, you'll remember all those things on these 8. I'll say them so many times you'll be able to see the page numbers. Okay. I've written the page numbers down so many times I remember them. I see them on the books. All right. Et. Sign of direct object. He is doing, violence is going to the next word. Violence or created form. Hashemayim. Hashemayim. It's got a definite article on the front of it, on page 206, if you want to write that one down. And then it's got a shah and a mayim. We got waters and uplifted. We got heavens. We got waters. We got heavens and the in this Hashemayim. All right, Hashemayim. It's plural, by the way. Page 1030. Page. That's in over in Baumgartner. By the way, in the Septuagint, it should not. What does it have there, Randall? Do you still have that Septuagint out there? Did they make a mistake on that too? We already found a couple of mistakes. What does it say there for heavens?
Tone. I can't pronounce it.
All right. Let me look at that. All right. Tone aranon, singular. Accusing, singular. It's not accusing, singular. Actually, it should be what? Accusing, plural. They goofed, didn't they?
So they should have used the tone.
They should have used a tone, a different tone. They should have used that tone. All right? That's plural. That's plural. But it's singular. They translated it incorrectly. It is plural. What does it have on the end of it, Brother Randall? It's got a plural ending. Hashemayim. Plural. All right? Did they translate it correct? Now, what does it say there, Cindy?
God begins to create heaven and earth.
Heaven. They don't even have to translate their own word for heaven. It's heavens. Goofballs. Did they interpret or did they translate it? They interpreted to mean what they thought. All right? Now let's just think about what it's actually talking about, Hashemayim here. Hashemayim here could be translated universe. Now God, first of all, He created the expanse to put everything in, didn't He? He had to create an expanse. He had to create a great big vacuum, if you want to say out there, a big space to put everything in. That's created too, not just the things that are in the space, but the space to put the things in have been created. Now He created all of the universe. And then it says, we eth. We eth. Look at that, we eth there. We eth, it has an and a sign of direct object. And, page 206, and Brown, Driver, and Briggs, and et, page 84. And the equivalent in Hebrew, or in Greek, is what? Ace. It did get that right, didn't it, Randall? Did you get the ace down there right?
They have Kai, Tone, no, Kai, Tane, Game?
That's Earth. That's Earth. All right.
Kai, Tane, Game.
Okay, and we would be Kai, and then the sign, it should have been we ace, or tone. We ace tone, or Kai ace tone, because we have to have the idea of here comes action. All right. We et, sign of direct object with a conjunction in haaretz. Haaretz. It's not haaretz, as the modern Hebrew would say, but it's haaretz, because we got a sateh. All right. That's it. Ha, page 206. All right. Haaretz, page 76 in Brown, Driver, and Briggs. All right. Page 76. The earth. So God created the space. He created all the universe, all the planets and everything else, and then in the right exact spot, evidently, He placed the earth after all that was done. The earth isn't part of everything else, but the earth is a special particle. There, because He placed the earth exactly where it should have been. He put every mineral deposit and water and everything on this earth that needed to be there, and He placed it in exactly the right place. Okay, so now we have it. John Reike said, the biblical doctrine of creation is the most important advance in human knowledge. Atheism says, and evolution is, they talk about Genesis as sacrificium intellectus. Sacrificium intellectus. That means you sacrifice one's intellect to believe in it. That was dumb if you believe in Genesis. I believe in Genesis. I maybe don't, but I believe in Genesis. I believe that's the only way that we know what happened in this world. To sacrifice one's intellect to believe in an irrational conclusion. Evolution is absolutely mathematically impossible to sustain. It absolutely is. The world had to be created by a mastermind. It had to be created by a maker. All right? Einstein said, I respect religion, but I believe in mathematics. By the way, the creation is not created out of nothing. Ex nihilo, as the Catholic Church says, and so much of it rubbed off in the Protestantism. Ex nihilo means what? Out of nothing. But it's created out of God, out of something. It says, God in the book of Hebrews says that He created everything that is seen out of that which is not seen. Not out of nothing, but that which is not seen is matter. Einstein said energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. You got that one, Cindy. That's right down your alley, isn't it? That she teaches mathematics. All matter has energy in it. Some matter has more energy than others. The atoma. 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 What kind of a word do you think that we got out of that? Atoma.
Adam.
Atom, or the atomic structure of things. Atoma. You know what atoma means? I want you to just get an idea of this. It's not able to be split. If you split atoma, you destroy. When you split the atom, you destroy. You destroy. When you split the atom, you destroy matter. You turn matter into energy. All right? That energy. All right? We haaretz. Say that. We haaretz. Genesis 1 and 2. We haaretz. So what do we have? And the earth. And the earth. Hahyata. 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 All right? She became. And the earth she became. Third person singular feminine. Cal, preterite, perfect tense. She became. Now, let's go over there and let's look at that Jewish Publication Society and see what them Jewish boys say about Genesis 1 and 2.
The earth being unformed and void, with darkness over the surface of the deep, and a wind from God sweeping over the water.
Oh, I talk about an interpretation. That's quite a leap in faith of an interpretation. And the earth, she had become tohu. Tohu, you can look up on page 1062 in Brown Driver and Briggs. And it means confusion. It means confusion. And she had become confusion, formless, worthlessness. And then we have the word wivohu. Wivohu. Tohu wivohu. Tohu wivohu. That means useless, and it means formless and useless. And then it says, we cheshek. We cheshek. Say we cheshek. We cheshek. Darkness. like scotia, sophon. All right, sophon, darkness, scotia. El, say el. That's upon. That means to hang over, existing over. Pane means faces. Look at that word pay. Pay means mouth, pane means faces. All right? The front of the face. Sarah had such a bad, mean face that Hagar was afraid to look at her face because she was. She had a bad face. It says darkness was over the faces to home. The deep, the abyss, to home. A mass of muddy, wild waters. Muddy, wild waters. To home. The deep, page 1063. The faces, page 815 and 17, all the way to page 819. And then it said, we ruach. Say, we ruach. We ruach. Ruach is the word spirit. It means wind, it means spirit. But here we're talking about Spirit God. Now we're not talking about the Spirit of God, as King James is, but we talk about Spirit God. And Spirit God is what? Holy Spirit. Spirit God. All right, we ruach. Elohim, Spirit God. We're not talking about wind from God. We're talking about Spirit God. It didn't say ruach, me Elohim. It says ruach Elohim, Spirit God. Spirit God. That is the title of Spirit God. What is the word for Spirit God in Lakota? Remember what that one is? Skan, taku, skan, skan. That's which makes everything move and exist. Skan, taku, skan, skan. Merachifat. Merachifat. Brooding intensely, mourning, suffering. Feminine singular, PL participle. Spirit of Elohim. Brooding. Why is it in feminine? Because it has the same word. This word here means to brood over a nest of eggs like a mother hen does. To protect, to germinate, to brood, to restore. Spirit God was intensely mourning and suffering. El Panei Hamayim. Upon the faces of the waters. All right. He's mourning over the faces of the waters. The feminine aspect of God, Shekinah, was suffering and mourning over His destroyed and corrupted creation. As a motherhood would over her injured brood. Jesus, looking over Jerusalem, says, "How, O Jerusalem, in Matthew 23:37, how many times I would have clucked like a mother hen and saved you, comforted you, but you would not come." All right. So now we got a little bit of this. We got a little bit of reason why we're going to study Hebrew. Do you want to do 12 and verse 1 before we leave tonight? It's 6 o'clock. Do you want to do 12 and verse 1 just to get there? That's where we're going to start. We got 1 and 1 and 2, 12 and verse 1.
We'll go ahead.
All right. Wayomer. And then the next word here, are you at 12 and 1 now? Wayomer. How's this next word, Brother Randall? Wayomer. And he said, third person masculine singular, cal, wow, consecutive, imperfect. He said and kept on saying.
Wayomer.
This is the word Adonai. Aha! Here we have the word Adonai. It's the word Jehovah, as we say it today. What?
The name.
The name. The Hadavar, the word. Hadavar, Hashem, or Adonai, as the modern Hebrews would say. When they come to that word, they say Adonai. You ask them, how do you say that word? They say Adonai. That's not how you say the word. Because they don't know how to say the word. Nor would they never said the word since they received the law. Moses said, "Thou shalt not use the Lord thy God's name in vain," and they were afraid to ever speak His name again. So they called Him the Word or the Name. When they wrote the Hebrew Bible, they could make a mistake in any Hebrew word in the Hebrew Bible, but if they made a mistake on Jehovah, this word, Halavar, they destroyed the manuscript. You heard that if they made a mistake, they destroyed the manuscript. No, they could erase and they would correct it, but not the name for God. They had to use a special pen with a special ink to write that name. And that's the Word. The Word. And he said the word unto El Avram. Look at that word El Avram. Say El there. El. All right. El, page 40, by the way. Jehovah's on page 218 or 19. All right. And then unto Avram. Avram means exalted father. By the way, it's not Abram, but it's Avram. We don't have a doggish Laney in the middle of that page, do we? So it's Avram. Avram, exalted father. Lek Likah. Lek Likah. Say Lek Likah. All right. And for yourself, and walk for yourself. All right, masculine, singular, cal, imperative. Page 229. In Brown Driver Break, page 246 in Kohler and Baumgartner. From your land. Look at that word. Mi'aretzcha. Look at that. Mi'aretzcha. From your land. From this word we see from, with a mem on the front of it. We see aretz in there. And we see the lock, which is yours. From your land. Page 76. All right. From your land. And then you mem mov Moladitika. Oh, that's a hard word to say. Umim Molatika. All right? And from your relatives, from your tribe. From your relatives and from your tribe. We have and, we have from, and relatives in here. And from the house. Umib biet. See, that's a strong one in it. It's strong and it's double. Umib biet. And from the house. And from the house, avik, of your father. The house of your father, avik, or Abba. Remember, Abba is father. All right. Page 3 in Brown Driver Bridge. El Haaretz, unto the land. El Haaretz, unto, page 40, and the, page 206, land, page 76. Which, we have a little like a relative pronominal adjective thing here, corresponding to Greek, autos. All right? Which, Asher, page 81 through 4. I shall show you. First person construct, singular, hithel, imperfect, with a suffix of second person masculine and singular. So we have the person acting in here, and we have the person that he's acting upon, all infected in this word. Arika. Say Arika. All right. Wayomer el Avram Likah mi'aretz cheka, and then you mim mo la tika you mibbiet avik el haaretz asher avrika. Boy, what a verse. Did you get something out of it a little bit? All right, you want to put there for now and come back next week and look at it again? We got a lot of stuff in tonight, didn't we? What is it? This is the 19th, isn't it?
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you for your... Do you have any questions? I'm not going to drive the grammar in you. I'm not going to drive it home. You will learn it as we go. We will learn a little bit as we go. I haven't even told you about the vowels tonight at all. We'll look at that a little bit. We won't look at that. Now, if you want these... the book of Genesis reading, where you would hear Genesis, I've got those $2 for the book of just for about the first 25 chapters of Genesis is on there, and I'm telling you where it is. And then I've got the whole 5 books of the whole Pentateuch. All right? But you have to play it in the computer. That was 5 of them. All right? Are you ready to go out and burst upon the world and do something eternal now? You got a little Hebrew underneath your belt now, don't you? Just a little bit? Now, when you come back next week, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, and I stay alive, you'll learn a little more. Take your books home and try to, I have written out the pronunciations of those. Try to pronounce it just a little bit. And look it up. If you can get your Hebrew lexicons, if you want a Hebrew lexicon. By the way, you can probably look the Hebrew lexicons up online. You can probably even get a...
What amazes me is, languages for a young child, 4 and 5 years old, to learn is Hebrew.
When a person is young, you can learn many languages. When Dakota was small, I was teaching her 5 or 6 languages all the time. All the time. I said, this is this is that, this is this. I tell her different things like that. And she had a few of those languages under her belt, at least words from those languages. And so I said, I'll go my name. She knew what I meant. Let's go now. All right? We go now. All right? The different things I would say to her, speak to her in Greek. I speak to her a little bit. A while ago, she did something for me, and I told her Pila Maya in Lakota, and I said grazie, and whatever the other languages I use.
Was that Italian?
Yeah. I speak to her in 3 or 4 languages. That helps when you do that and you repeat over and over again.
Yeah.
They learn those things. And that's why I tell you, and then I tell you what it is in Greek. We look at it in Greek. We look at it in Hebrew. We look at it in English.
Yeah.
I even throw a little Indian at you now and then. So you get the idea what it means. All right? So you'll have the idea.
Repetition does it.
What?
Repetition.
Repetition. Repeat, repeat. Teach and repeat, repeat, repeat. And then you got it. Brother Jim, would you dismiss us in prayer, please, brother?
We thank you, Father, for the wonderful gift of language and the meanings that you put just in the right places for us, Lord. And we just ask you to be with us as we learn your beautiful word in the language that you first presented them to us. And we thank you for the instructor and the time and the place to meet and to learn more about you, Lord. We thank you. Amen.
Amen. Go out and do something eternal.
Brain cells are busy.
Have a good night.
That'll make your head spin, won't it?